All the black surfaces on this grill can be cleaned with any kind of cleaner. The stainless steel needs to be cleaned with stainless steel cleaner. And when you clean this with stainless steel cleaner, it'll look like this end. Now that end was cleaned last year, but we keep it covered all the time. But if you use, it's a little elbow grease, but if you clean with stainless steel cleaner, it will be spotless, and you can wipe it down all year long and it'll look clean. And you really need to use a cover, and that's our cover right there. And I think it costs $38, and it's probably 7 or 8 years old, and it's been sitting on this deck for the last 3 or 4 years. So they hold up pretty well. They got little Velcro straps on the end. I'm sure you've all seen them. But if you leave this thing aired after you've cooked it without a cover on it, you will have to clean that stainless again. It will just turn horrible. It'll look just like the front of that in a month. Where if I cover it, it'll look like that next year after I've cleaned it this year. So anyway, if your jets aren't burning right, you might look at that back header, and maybe yours is eat up like that, which obviously is not doing its job. That appears to be stainless. I haven't put a magnet on it to see whether it would stick. And it was like $21 and change. And the people I ordered from it, I had it in 3 days. So all I got to do is drill out these burners and put it in there and light it off. And you got to clean the grills like you clean all the grills. And they get a lot of grease on them. The grills sit in this little track back here, and they get really just loaded with grease. So whenever you pull the grills up, the bottom's going to be full of oil and grease. So you might as well have a paper towel handy to wipe it off. But that's pretty much it, folks. Put new tin foil in the tray, new tin foil in the grease cup, and you're good for another season. Most grills have a little catch pan for grease. You cook a lot of hot dogs and steak, you're going to get a lot of grease. If you roast chickens, you'll get a lot of grease. And these little containers won't hold that much, but it just slides up in this groove, and when you put it in, it sort of pops over, so you have to sort of lift this end up to get it to slide out. And I'll show you why we put aluminum foil in it, heavy duty. This is a tray that slides in there, and so we put 2 layers of heavy duty foil in it. We've been cooking a bunch of hamburgers this year. We haven't cleaned it this year. But isn't that a lot cleaner to just take that out and put some more foil in it? And if you didn't put this back in there, or you let it fill up, it'll overflow. And we've had it done because I've got stains on this deck. But that's why we put foil in it, and I'm going to pull the big tray out here in a minute so you can see that. And the tray just slides out the back. If it seems like it doesn't want to move, sometimes you get grease on the track and it'll harden up, and if you just pop it with the heel of your hand under both sides, you can get it to come out. And after you put the foil in there, you have to cut that with a razor blade knife and stick it down in the hole to make a little funnel so that the grease goes into your grease catch pan. Now all we have to do is put new foil in here and we're off to go. But I can guarantee you there will be grease under it. 3 layers is minimum, and you'll still get grease under it, but you'll have a whole lot less than if you do 1 layer. Well, everything's cleaned up. We haven't cleaned the stainless with the stainless cleaner. You can tell by the doors we didn't do anything to those. But we have washed everything off and cleaned it off. You can see my fingerprints where I was working on the aluminum foil in the trays. And the object of the game is, if you get the grime off of this before you try to clean it with stainless steel cleaner, it makes it a whole lot easier because you're not pushing the grime around. And see, we have new aluminum foil in the bottom, and we've got a hole where it goes in the drip pan. And now this exit, you can feel that little, there's a little, see if you can see it, there's a little space that goes across that hole. And if you can feel that with your finger, you can cut an X down it and fold the little corners under, and most of the grease goes in the cup. And to get these cleaned off, all you really have to do is bring them up to temperature. After we cook meat, we close the lid and let it go all the way up to 500-600 degrees, and it bakes all that. Then we cut it off, and it doesn't take long for it to get there. And once it's dry, you can wipe it off, knock it off with a brush.